winning wasn't only reason I was there.
Okay.
It was being in the Squid Game world and competing against myself and you. That's what I wanted, the experience. That was worth all that money until I started lasting. And then I'm thinking, you don't need to be young and big like you and strong like you. You know, you don't need that to win. You need this.
Yeah.
And I have that. That's my strength. I'm not big and I'm not young and strong. And then when you get below 100, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, I can win this. And I started liking the idea of the money. Because I believed I started believing in myself. Because I didn't before. That wasn't important. Then it became, I can do this. I can beat every one of those people.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Just in Time for Storytime. I'm your host, Justin Stephen Ford, author of the diverse picture book, I See Me. And here we're all about education, literacy, empowering the youth. But I did a thing. I went and auditioned for a game show called Squid Game's The Challenge. And I met so many incredible people. And I just want to share the incredible people that I've met so that you can get a chance to know them. And they can tell their stories and how their experience was for them. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Dr. Rick, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing?
I'm doing real good, Justin, real good.
Good, man. So let's just get straight to it. Well, first off, tell the people a little bit about Dr. Rick.
Dr. Rick on Squid Game, The Challenge, turned 69 years old that day when we first went into the dorms and with red light, green light. And I am still busy. I'm still working. I'm in medicine. I have a million hobbies. I'm a beekeeper. I'm growing fig trees in Western Pennsylvania, which is a challenge in itself. I have gardens, dogs. I grow orchids. And there's a million other things. I never sit still. And I love my life. I have 7 kids, 18 grandchildren now, and number 19 is on the way.
Congratulations.
That keeps my wife and I busy. My wife is actually away right now babysitting some kids in Washington, D.C.
Very nice, man. And I feel like, is that what keeps you young? Because you guys, if you meet Dr. Rick, he has a very youthful energy about him.
I think hobbies and busyness, keep moving, slows down the aging process. You still add years to your life. You still get older, but you don't feel as old. You don't act as old. And you still do crazy things like signing up for reality shows, even at 69 years old.
So let's talk about it, Dr. Rick. Now, were you a fan of the original show? Did you see the original show?
I saw it several times, even before I knew you could apply for a reality show. I loved Squid Game. I watched it several times, and then I watched the red light, green light, 20 times after that. And then I stumbled upon, how I found out to apply for this. I was on vacation in June with time on my hands, God forbid. And I was looking to see if there was actually going to be a season 2. I mean, I liked season 1. I was just hope, is there going to be a season 2? And I saw that there was, but you could apply for a reality show. And it took me about 3 seconds to say, I'm doing this.
Really?
Maybe less.
So no hesitation.
Out my mind, I'm signing up for this. And the rest of the vacation was planning my strategy, the pictures, the talk, the questions. And I told nobody this for a very long time.
Yeah.
I think my family might have thought I lost my marbles, so to speak.
We're gonna talk about marbles. So have you always been like that your entire life? Just go for it, a go for it kind of person?
Always. Age is not going to stop me from anything. Mm-hmm. And I'm never going to retire from work. As long as I can walk without a walker and my mind's okay. And, there's no guarantee in either of those. I will work until I can't walk or I can't think right.
I love it. I was talking to part of your gang earlier, Dan. Check out his episode of the interview. But he was talking about how you all were talking about so many great conversations, but how your patients and remember the names and the patients that you delivered and different things like that.
Oh, I remember. Yeah. I have a very good memory. A very good memory. Actually, the University of Pittsburgh Medical School. Yeah. I'm in several dementia studies, not because I have it, but they're studying a bunch of people with regard to dementia for markers, and I'm in these several studies for this. And really? I have a very good memory.
I don't think you knew, but I actually work in Alzheimer's research also. So we've done the clinical trial. Yeah. No way. So we've done the clinical trial.
Real good. Yeah, I'm in a trial where I'm taking this something from soybean. I take two tablets twice a day for 2 years. I've had MRIs. And it's other study. I've had PET scans of my head. I'm getting an MRI on the 17th. I've had my DNA sequenced. For this trial. Yeah. And they're going to see if I have certain proteins in my blood that might be leading to Alzheimer's. And I have to go in and talk to them. Do I want the results or not want the results? Like, do I want to know things could look bad for my future? Or do I just want to keep things?
Now, would you want to know?
I don't want to know.
Yeah. I had that sequencing done. I had the same with the ApoE that we're looking at. Yes, exactly. Okay, so we're going to talk more about that too. But to get into the game, you sign up for the game. They give you a call back. Hey, Dr. Rick, we want you on the show. Now, that was for me, it was like a 6-month casting process. Was it a really long time for you?
Oh, it was forever. Yeah. I remember, I applied end of June. Mm-hmm. It was September, I think the 16th or 17th. Mm-hmm. I get a text. Every day I would check my emails. Like, I thought I had a great application. Honest to gosh, I thought, I'd hire me, and and this lady texts me and says, "We loved your application. Can we call you?" Yeah. And I had to go home from work that day. I was like, I'm ruined. And then it was just one thing after that. Like the Zoom meeting was 2 days later, and more forms to fill out, and then all kind of things, that's when I started telling my family after they started getting pretty interested. Okay, I didn't tell them at first, and of course they all said, "You can't do that. You're going to get killed," or whatever. Yeah. They didn't understand.
Yeah, but you did. So you applied. Oh, You applied, you get accepted, and then you're on a flight to London, right? In the middle of January, February?
January 19th.
We're on a flight to London. We go to a hotel, and then in my mind, that's where the game officially starts, like in the hotel. So we're in this hotel for a week before we go into the game. How was that for you?
I loved every minute of it.
Why?
My life is crazy busy, and to be stuck in a room by myself, I never even turned the TV on once, except the last day so I could keep what time it was, Okay. And the solitude was good. I needed that before going into the games. Yeah. I needed that solitude. I know other people cried about it, being isolated, and it was like being in prison and so on. Yeah. I appreciated that time to prepare myself.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so you're getting mentally prepared. And so what we're talking about, guys, is before we filmed, we were in a hotel, security guards in the hallways. We couldn't talk to each other. It was very, very strict and controlled. And then the day before we go to the first challenge, they take our phones, they take cell phones, computers, and give you your player number. And then that's when it got real for me. How did you feel when you got 232?
I love that number. It became my name. I mean, I started identifying as player 232.
Yeah.
Because they were all players in Squid Game, and that just brought it more real. I am now a player 232, and this is real, and it was the best.
Yeah. Okay. So we get on this bus. We get on a bus in the middle of the night, headed to, we don't know where we're going. We pull up to this huge airplane hangar, and then we get off the bus. How was that for you? Walk me through how that was for you, pulling up to the first challenge.
Scared out of my mind. No, I was. My family put pressure on me. I have 7 children. I have 18 grandchildren and a wife. And Dad, don't get out the first game.
Man,
Dad, you can't be the first one to lose.
Man,
that put pressure on me. Like, what if I get out the first game? I come back the next day. Like, what the heck? And so I was worried, and after that, after it started, I was not sure I was going to make it. It was real tough for me. But I was afraid of not completing it for myself, but also let my family down. That bothered me.
Yeah. I can understand that 1,000%. Did you think it was going to be because we see it on TV and it's big on TV, but in person it's huge. Did you think it was going to be as big as it was?
It was as real as you can get. I didn't expect that. But it couldn't get realer unless they used real bullets, it could. And I loved it because I am now in the Squid Game world for real, but I felt how they were shot in the first series, eliminated that way. I thought our group had a whole lot more to lose than what the players in the first series had to lose. We have a lot more to lose. Yeah.
Well, why do you think we have more to lose than the players in the real show?
Because in the real Squid Game, they didn't die. They looked like they died. We had things come out of our body,
Let's talk about the actors. Gotcha.
They were actors. They actually didn't die. After they were eliminated, they go home. They get paid for their acting job.
Yeah.
We lose a challenge. We go home empty-handed, and we lost a chance of a lifetime to win $4.56 billion. We had way more to lose than what they did.
I agree. I've never thought about it that way, but you're right. So we get there. It's freezing, Dr. Rick.
It was horrible.
It was freezing. And we're in this airplane hangar. It's freezing. We line up. We walk out for the first time. So what you guys see, our reaction is a genuine reaction. There's no acting there. And we all line up. So walk us through how red light, green light was for you. Because did you have a strategy? Did your strategy change after the first round? What was that like?
I had strategy because I watched every way on YouTube how to get through red light, green light. It was supposed to be 5 minutes. What was it,
Dr. Rick? Tell the people what it actually was.
Well, it was real long. It was 7 hours, and I'll give you a little. I was the last person to cross that line legally.
Really? Because I
was out there. I was the last one. I was in the last group, but I had an angel carry me across that finish line. I told the Squid Netflix that in one of my MIVs that the distance was way too far. There was a guy named Cookie. I don't know if you remember Cookie.
Yeah.
He told me, which probably was an insult. He saw me back there. He goes, boy, that old man back there, I got to give him credit for hanging in there, implying there's no way on earth I'm going to cross that finish line.
Yeah.
And my strategy was safe. Go slow. You have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
To go from end to end, if you just go slow and easy, So I was going to go slow and careful.
Yeah.
And by the time it was halfway done the clock, I was a third of the way finished.
He said, I'm in trouble.
Strategy had to change.
Yeah.
That wasn't going to get me across. It was 2.5 minutes left, and I was way before the half.
Not even halfway. Okay.
And and so I had to just change my way.
Yeah.
And,
what'd you do? How'd you change it?
I did go a little bit faster, but the people behind me either passed me up or got eliminated, and eventually left me in the back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the last song, I just put my head down and ran as fast as I could. And I remember hearing the last syllable as my right foot crossed, my left one had already crossed that line. And I thought she was still going to shoot me dead, that I must have done something wrong. Everyone was celebrating. I was not. Because right before us was the massacre.
The massacre, where it was everyone.
The machine gun went off.
Yeah.
And so I know they could shoot you on past that finish line, Yeah. And so I did not feel until they carried me off to go to the buses. I did not think I had made it.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for my squib to shoot.
Yeah. And even after you left the arena, they ask you your number to make sure. And that's for everybody who's watching that thinks it was rigged or people were cheating. It was not. Like they were making sure that it was all pretty fair.
It was just like you said. They went over everything many times.
Yeah.
And some of the players that they interviewed,
mm-hmm.
like I think they were maybe more there, like they thought they would do well. I remember seeing some that I'm looking at them. Yeah, they could win this. They were young like you and strong, female and male, and many of them got out. And I remember one lady swearing her head off, and I thought she was going to win the thing, and maybe Netflix did too. It was no, and then somebody like me makes it,
But I tell people, like, for me, it wasn't necessarily. It was more mental for me. My body, like you said, an angel carried you over. My body was done maybe halfway through. I didn't think I could do it. And Dr. Rick, I've never believed in myself or had such mental strength. I didn't know I was so mentally strong to get me through because it was cold. We were out there for 6 hours. So I ended the round right before the massacre. Then the massacre, and then I think it was you. So like we were already out there for 6 hours, freezing. It's not like she would sing, we would stop, it would go. We would have to hold a position for up to 30 minutes at times. Yeah.
I can't sit still for 10 seconds, let alone stand for 30 minutes.
But you did it.
And I did. Mental. It was mental. It was physical, but it was mental. And I'm glad it was hard. Winning 4.56 is not supposed to be easy. And if it was easy and I won, there's no pride in that.
Yeah.
Getting through each challenge, as difficult as it was, there's pride. Even if I don't win, you went through something that you gave it your best. And I didn't want it to be. I don't want the mills to be good. I don't want anything to be good on that.
And it wasn't.
I wanted it to be real as Squid Game could be.
Yeah. And it was. Okay.
It was.
So we get through Squid Game. We get through red light, green light, which I know was the best feeling for me. I'm like crying. And I was talking to Dan earlier, actually. And so it was interesting because, these are strangers around us, right? But all of a sudden, the people around us, because Dan was right next to me during red light, green light. And we helped each other get across the line, right? But it's interesting how these people around you became the support system. Was it like that for you in red light, green light?
Yes, I had Amanda.
In
Australia.
Yeah.
She always was on the ground, but she was behind me and then passed me up. But we talked and we helped each other out. It was just us two. because we were kind of isolated in the back.
Okay. Yeah.
She helped me. And I remember crossing the line, and TJ was the first to welcome me.
Yeah.
God bless him.
TJ.
And I couldn't, I wasn't sure I made it. You know, I didn't have the confidence that I was successful because they still could pull this thing off. And but he was the first to welcome me.
Yeah.
Son of a gun. I'll never forget that moment. Never forget him hugging me.
Oh, God.
It was the best.
Shout out to TJ.
He's burned in my brain forever, like it or not.
Yeah. That's good memories. So many memories. So red light, green light's done. We get on the bus early in the next morning, and we're again in the dark, headed to where the dorms are. We walk into the dorms for the first time. Take it away. How was that for you? Because that for me was like, oh, this is real.
It was, well, in red light, green light, I didn't want to disappoint my family.
Yeah.
Although at that point, it got to, this is so hard. If I lose, I can't fault myself.
You can't.
I can't. You know, it's hard. And I saw so many great people get out before me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But then, so I was okay with losing, not disappointing my family. But then I started this idea of not seeing the dorm.
Yeah.
That started, I came here to spend one night in that dorm.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I got to do this. It would crush me to not see the dorm, not going home, but crush me to not walk into that dorm.
And all the people that went home in red light, green light, nobody saw the dorm.
They never saw the dorm.
Right.
And so losing that wasn't the issue. It was not seeing the dorm. And that got me through. That got the angels involved with my successful experience there.
Okay.
And then you walk in, and this is what I wanted more than anything else ever is to be in Squid Game world. I'm here. You know, it smelled like it. It looked like it. It felt like it. It was the best.
It was wild.
I was just amazed.
Yeah. And I feel like, so we sang happy birthday to you. We sang happy birthday to you, Dr. Rick. It was that day when we first walked in, right?
The minute we walked in, I think it was Jimmy or somebody.
Someone started it.
Who pulled me up here. It's his birthday and got him. Like, I don't like that kind of stuff. I don't like being in the middle of anything. I'm the guy in the back, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm the guy that likes to clap as you go by. I don't want to be the parade man. I'm the one who sits on the side and claps as you go by, you know. And he put me up there and show them your tattoo. And, oh, geez. But speech.
Yeah, we all happy birthday.
Oh.
That was a great time. Yeah. So
what a place to spend your birthday, don't you think?
That was your 69th, 68th, 69th? 69th birthday. Man, one for the record book. So we're in the dorm, we're singing happy birthday, and then you see the guards come out, the money drops. That's real Squid Game stuff right there.
It's as real as you're gonna get, and you know, at the beginning, I still didn't think I was going to be the one who won. You know, winning wasn't only reason I was there.
Okay.
It was being in the Squid Game world and competing against myself and you. That's what I wanted, the experience. That was worth all that money until I started lasting. And then I'm thinking, you don't need to be young and big like you and strong like you. You know, you don't need that to win. You need this.
Yeah.
And I have that. That's my strength. I'm not big and I'm not young and strong. And then when you get below 100, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, I can win this. And I started liking the idea of the money. Because I believe that I started believing in myself.
Yeah.
Because I didn't before. You know, that wasn't important. Mm-hmm. Then it became, I can do this. Yeah. I can beat every one of those people.
Yeah. Because you quickly realize, like you said, it's not about it was so many elements, right? It was like luck mixed with strength, mixed with wit,
Yes.
mixed with a good social game, mixed with physicality. It was everything.
But not youth, not strength, and not size. And that's the idea I had when I was coming into this. Tug of war, where you had, and I was thinking strength and that. But after you learned it wasn't, then I'm on equal grounds, if not better than most of you players.
Yeah. Okay, so you get back. I think we're in the dorms. Everybody's, playing volleyball and running around the track. The bathrooms, everything's big and connected, which was wild. And then we go into Dalgona. So we walk into the white room, which Dan refers to as hell. He said hell is actually white. It's not dark. But we get into the white room and we see we're going to play Dalgona. What shape did you get again? Because we saw, but remind the people.
I got the shape my wife prayed for at that moment. I'm sure she was praying for me. I got the circle.
You got circle.
I must thank Bridget for that one.
Yeah.
I was in line 4 umbrella.
Really?
In Squid Game, it was circle, triangle, star, umbrella, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm thinking they're not going to repeat that same order. There's no way they're going to do that. I went 4. That's not going to be the umbrella. It might be something else, but it's not going to be the umbrella because it's all,
Yeah.
And so I was in line 4. And Bridget and James come over.
Yeah.
And they have a huddle with me. We in Korea, 4 is a bad number.
Okay.
It's like our 13. So don't go in line 4. And I'm thinking, I want to be in line 4. We're going to all go to line 1. No, that could be the umbrella. I'm thinking. And so all my people that I was hanging out with, they all went to line 1. I stayed in line 4. And then I'm thinking, all my friends are over there. I had to go with them. If I go down with, I go down with my friends.
Loyalty. Yeah.
I'm not going to survive this. And, so I went to line 1. It was the circle. Somebody was watching out for me.
That's that angel
many forms, including Bridget.
So you saw the chaos. We all saw the chaos in like the first couple players, having to pick a shape. You get in. Did you have a strategy for the cookie, or how did that go? Because I hear circles were popping out.
I practiced this like crazy at home.
Yeah.
Once I was chosen, now I practiced a little bit, but on December 8th, when I got my phone call.
That's my birthday. Yeah.
Pardon?
That's my birthday, December 8th.
Happy birthday. That's the day I had good things happen to me, including my call from Squid Game.
Nice.
On December 8th. And I would come home from work and make 8 shapes every day.
You would bake them yourself?
Every day. I ruined so many pans.
Just
scraping them with those chopsticks. But my recipe is different than what they had.
Sure.
Mine were brittle, and sometimes just cooling on the counter, they would crack, But it made me be much more careful. And even with my fragile cookies, I could do circle 100% of the time.
Really? Okay.
Umbrella, maybe 10%, but I could do it. And so it gave me confidence. And this challenge was I was very much at ease there. Yeah. I had practiced. I was so amazed that people did not practice once.
Yeah.
And in fact, in the dorms, I was showing them how I did it, did it at home. I was teaching other players, with the licking and the filling in the groove with saliva and gently going with the needle. They never tried it. 4.56 million. Practice.
A little bit.
Pardon?
At least a little bit.
At least. But, that one was the game that bothered me the least.
Okay.
And the shape, of course, was the bother. But once I got the circle line, if I lose this one, I had 100% confidence.
Yeah. Which is crazy because red light, green light was way probably more difficult than that. But it's interesting because by the time we get to red light or the Dalgona, I think that's when anxiety starts to set in. Like you're in this world, you're sleeping around 190 people, you're eating, what was it? Oatmeal porridge every morning. Your favorite. Porridge every morning and boiled chicken and vegetables. It was interesting. So you get through the cookie, you get through the circle, you sail through, you get back. And is that when the gang, remind us the gang that you joined? You joined a gang.
We joined the Gganbu Gang.
Gganbu Gang, boy.
And it was Parna that came up with the name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we had a little group.
Dan says he came up with the name.
He came up with the name, I believe. I believe that.
Okay.
And we all, well, that's a great name, Friends Forever. Yeah. And we were hanging around a little bit. We got this now a great group of guys. A strong group of guys.
Strong group, yeah.
I got into.
Because you had Stephen, Dan, Perna,
Brian,
mm-hmm.
Others, we had Lexi, who was worth her weight in gold 100 times over.
Yeah.
As women go, strong and mm-hmm. smart. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we decided to become friends for life, and I talked with Dan, and Marcus was there.
Yeah.
What a great guy he is. Yeah. What a sincere son of a gun him.
Yeah. So you guys joined the gang, the crew, and then of course we see the telephone come out. Now, where were you when the telephone came out? Were you gonna run up to the telephone?
I was at the other end of the dorms. I was going near that thing. Like you said, with Dalgona, I was in the back of the line. I volunteer for nothing. Nothing good comes out of that. Nothing good ever comes out of being first. Mm-hmm. And so I was as far away from that telephone. Yeah. I watched the whole thing play out, but I was happy to be
entertained.
Yeah, being entertained by it, and who in the heck? No.
Who came up with this stuff? Like, that's what I was thinking. I remember saying, this is such good television. Like, just watching everything happen. I was like, this is such good television. So that happens, and then we go into Warships. So I know we're back in that white room, right? And everybody's thinking it's going to be tug of war. So everyone's lining up. You guys had some big guys in your gang.
We had the strongest line. Yeah. We could have beaten anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, thinking tug of war. I was not going to, I'm thinking tug of war. Although I was told a long time ago by somebody, strength was not an issue here. Mm. I told him, he asked me, are you afraid about going, and I said, I'm not as strong as other people because, you're not going to need strength. Mm-hmm. So that would eliminate tug of war, but I never really believed that. I thought it was going to be tug of war, and I was with the strongest guys, and we were so well prepared for this one.
Yeah. You guys, it was good old
I felt horrible walking into that. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, it was beautiful. Oh my gosh. Human warships. But my heart, it was smashed a million times.
Yeah. Now, who was your captain?
A great team, a close-knit team.
Who was your captain?
Dan.
And who was your
lieutenant?
Joel
was our lieutenant.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
strong people. But even that, an 8-year-old on the other side by themselves could beat us.
That's true.
And just with a couple lucky calls, and I knew, I said, all right, that's strength, heck with that strength, I was so upset about it.
Yeah. And you guys only lost 2 people, right?
2 people.
Almost
3 more. My boat.
Yeah.
I was the next one to be, I forget who was in the first one. Mm-hmm. And then it was Stephen. Him and I became very close.
Yeah.
And then I was the next one, but we happened to sink their second ship just before they called my number.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they lost 10 people.
Yeah, that was a tough game. Now, how did you and Stephen become so close?
Okay. Well, Stephen and I, Stephen was probably 15 numbers. Stephen was 15 numbers away from me, at least. And I didn't know him. However, everybody between us was out on red light, green light. And so it was.
Yeah, that's crazy how that works.
And him and I we sat together. We stood in lines together. When they wanted the sequence, we were always together and we talked and
y'all had some beautiful moments. Yeah. And I think it's beautiful how like you said, age, shape, size, color, none of that mattered. You know what I mean? It was just humans talking to humans and like relating.
Yeah. You know, I was real happy how you youngsters accepted me.
Yeah, we love
I'm
you,
old, man. And I'm not your generation, and I'm not your technology, and everybody was so kind to me, and always everything. You know, always was not worried about me, but making sure I was okay, and they genuinely cared how I was doing. You know, because being older, it was a little bit maybe harder on me than you guys.
It was tough. That was hard. Yeah.
You know, and I was accepted, and it was so easy to talk to everybody. You know, I like talking to. Gosh, I don't know. Well, anyways, she was the youngest one there.
Okay,
and I was the oldest one there, so we hung out a little bit. You know, the youngest and the oldest. It was kind of nice.
That's nice. That's nice. So you get back from Warships, you see the numbers dwindling, the beds going away. And when you get back from Warships, there's like 30 people, 40 people left, right? It was a small number.
70.
70. Okay, 70. And then what happened after that? Jack in the Box.
Yeah. Well, we had to vote 3 players off before that.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So how did that go down?
Well, again, I stood in the back of the line.
He said, I'm out of it. My name is Rick. I'm not in it.
You know, you put somebody's name up there, they're going to put yours up there.
Right.
And so I stayed in the back, and that was stressful. But I'm thinking, no one's going to put my name up there. What the heck, you know? But then Jack in the Box came up.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about the chocolate bar.
Death by chocolate.
Wasn't there a chocolate bar?
Death by chocolate.
Death by chocolate. Let's talk about Death by Chocolate.
My Death by Chocolate. I can't shake it.
Yeah, the Death by Chocolate. So I was in the check out the episode, guys, with Dan. But Dan was saying how he was like, guys, let's not talk about this because everybody was listening. Everybody was plotting and planning and nobody was safe. Do you think the chocolate bar really impacted the gang?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how we got it, don't you?
Tell us.
Well, did you ever have a chore to do?
No, I never got a chore.
Well, I had a chore earlier.
Okay.
Nice young lady. Don't even remember. It was in the beginning. And we did a very nice chore. They said, oh, you've done your chore. You can leave. You know, it was real nice. Sure. And then that day, they called my number. Please report to the chore room and bring somebody with you.
Okay.
I'm sitting next to Stephen. I said, Stephen, come on, let's go. So we go to the chore room, and we can't figure out what the chore is. But on the table is two sets of Ddakji cards. The squares. And we're thinking maybe we should play a Ddakji game, you know, in the chore room. Nobody tells you anything. And Stephen, how good are you at this? He goes, I never tried it. Again, never practiced. I could flip a tire. I practiced so much. I could hit little ones, big ones. I could flip anything. So here's how you do it. You know, you got to at least hit the card, you know, and so we were throwing, and he started flipping some. Then after a while, over the microphone says, player 232, you won. And so he stood there. We put the cards up on the table, and I won. and that means Stephen lost. And what does that mean? Does Stephen get carted away? Like, we're not thinking a prize for me.
Right.
We weren't thinking, you know, a prize. We were thinking more of a issue for Stephen. And then I stood there like I was scared out of my mind that we were going to lose Stephen that day. And if I came out of that chore room by myself without Stephen, what's the gang going to say? What are they going to think of me? You know, and losing him, because we became real close. And then a guard comes and he stands in front of us. Doesn't say a word. Maybe 5 minutes. We're just standing there still, worried, and putting his hand on Stephen's shoulder, come with me, you know, or something like that. Instead, he hands me this big chocolate bar, and we can go. So before we leave, I said, Stephen, I don't want this. I said, maybe we should just give it to the Gganbu Gang, you know? We can't give it to 70 people.
Right.
You know, and I certainly don't want the whole thing myself or him. If we have a group of 14 people, that would do nice. Everybody gets a little treat, you know. And so I gave it to him, and then I got called away or something. At MIV. And I came back and they had already eaten most of the candy. He gave me a piece of it. But meanwhile, I guess things were going on by people who weren't getting any of it, which I didn't know anything about that. I wasn't there. I wasn't talking about it or anything, you know. I was away and came back, and he stuck me a little square. I had it. Was the best in the world.
Because you had been eating boiled chicken.
And I didn't know she was right there watching everything.
Yeah, she was. She was.
You know, but also, it wasn't just her. When I walked out of that chore with Stephen, again, the candy was being hidden. I'd say at least a half a dozen people says, how did you get 2 chores?
Yeah, so then you had
got any. Most of them got none. And all of a sudden, I got 2. What happened in there? Why'd you get 2 of them? What were they saying to you? Like, already, you know, even others are turning on me. Old me. Because of a second chore I was given.
It's suspicious.
They were suspicious about things. And so it might have been the candy, but also there might be some other things going on that all of a sudden, you know, they were taking more interest in me than somebody else or whatever. And you know, that put a target on my back, like having 2 challenges, or I'm sorry, 2 chores.
Then what happened next? So that happened. The chocolate, death by chocolate happens. What happens next?
Well, the Jack in the Box. And she had 3 votes, or 3 to choose 3 to leave. And she chose. I'm still not sure why she chose me. You know, she really went after our gang, which was a very powerful gang. Stephen, I can understand. And that was a smart move on her part. Not that I would ever want to lose him, but he was the leader. And certainly. But then I thought, you know, there was
low battery.
Dan would have been a better player to choose. I love Dan. I told you that. Just I thought Dan, if he didn't, should win this. You know, he was that good. If you're going to try to get yourself through this game, you would pick Stephen and Dan, not me. I'm thinking that, you know. So she said Stephen, or his number, and then my number. It's like, wow, me. I didn't think. Again, I wasn't thinking death by chocolate at that point. I wasn't thinking people knew about that. And I wasn't still thinking people questioning me having 2 chores. Until much later, you know. Why would anybody choose a 69-year-old man? 5'7"?
Power move. That was a power move.
But I didn't feel like I had the power in that gang at all.
So you hear your number called. What are you thinking?
Blank. My pressure dropped. I remember turning around. I hugged one person. I'm not sure who. It might have been James. And I just left. I just like, I can't deal with this. I'm thinking, what the heck did she pick me for? Her first move was she picked the man with the advantage.
Sure.
I didn't think that was fair, but a good strategy. She picked Stephen, who was as strong as anybody in that building, and young and smart. So she went after the two top players, and then me.
But that goes to show, Dr. Rick, that you had more power in the game than you thought that you did. I mean, you were a fan favorite, as you see. Like, you were one of my favorites. And I think it's a testament just because of who you are, how you show up. You're so kind. Like, you're a good guy. You know what I mean?
Remember several people, I was told by the Netflix as I was leaving.
Yeah.
They felt bad for me because it said so many people was hoping Dr. Rick would win.
I wanted Dr. Rick to win. Yeah. And in my mind, you are a winner because think about it, man. You beat out.
And if I left because I was a challenge or a threat, that'd be a good way to go. That's a good way to go.
That's it, man. That's the way I look at it. At 69, you had 21-year-olds scared. Scared.
Again, I never went there with that
mentality
perception ever. I would have never believed this had I been told beforehand. I still kept thinking I'm the weakest link here in my mind. I'm still thinking that, and that's why it shocked me. And I kept thinking, did I wrong her somewhere? I mean, if I did, that would be a good reason to pick me also.
Sure.
We didn't have much interaction, and that was my fault also. I didn't associate with a whole lot of people. I found my group, and that's kind of what I was comfortable with.
Sure.
I'm not the kind of being 69, walking over to the other side of the dorm with all these young people, straight
Sure.
I don't.
It's a lot.
I wasn't. So I had my group.
Yeah.
And so I ignored her, or I never said hello to her. We were never friends.
Sure.
But I couldn't have friends with everybody. Just.
Yeah.
And but if it's because she worried about me, I can live with that.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
And it was a good way to go. You left with a million other people. I left pretty much by myself.
Yeah.
So TV camera's going to be on me.
Yeah. Love it. I mean, America loves you, man. You are America's grandfather. Listen, man, let me just tell you, from, one player to another, one friend to another, like, seeing you in that game, I learned so much about myself, and I learned so much about how I had an amazing conversation with Mai when I was just telling her about my story and just accepting who I was. But it was just such a cool thing to come into this experience, and everybody has the same thing on, different colors, languages, backgrounds, and no outside influence, and how quickly people connected and bonded and got to know each other. Do you have a takeaway moment? Like, were you changed by this at all?
It was, I expected the opposite before getting there. Yeah. And so happy with how we worked together. And I remember telling people how to do Red Light, Green Light when she sang in Korean. Like, you got to listen to the songs. It's the same line, and I was showing people how to do Dalgona. Yeah. And I was showing people how to throw a Ddakji card. They were using sanitary pads.
Yeah.
We went we hit it in the corner, and I was showing, like, I was trying to help everybody.
Yeah. But that's also why we loved you, Dr. Rick. That's exactly it, man.
Well, but that's my nature. But I was so happy that it was kindness there versus cutthroat and sabotage, and we bonded. This whole group came together so much, and I never expected that. Yeah. $4.56 million. People kill their mother for that. They for 1/10 that they would sell their kids, and they do sell their kids for that. Yeah. And yet we became friends with that hanging over our heads. Amazing.
Yes. Yeah. And for me, it restored my faith in like humanity. Like people are really good people.
We are different as night and day, you and me, but we got close and we became, just we bonded and just enjoyed the experience. Who would have thunk that one?
Who would have thunk? Dr. Rick, man, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for player 232. Dr. Rick,
Justin, man. Good to see you again.
It's good to see
Great
you.
To see you again.
Tell everybody where they can find you. It's going to be in the comments. Where can they find Dr. Rick?
Like where? In my house or what?
No, like, do you have like social media?
Yes, I do have social media. Believe it or not, I started that. My social media before was a telephone, landline.
The yellow pages.
Yes. Oh, white pages for the number and yellow pages for businesses.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
And then we down
the rotary.
I am on Facebook. Mm-hmm. I am on Facebook, Doc-Ram, DOCRAM. And then I am on Instagram, Dr. Rick Mercurio.
There we go. A doctor. And
Dr. Rick and Dr. Rick Mercurio. And I'm still working in medicine. I will never give it up. And
what's next for you? What's next for you, Dr. Rick? I mean, what's next?
Oh, I'm looking. I am, I have a great life. I'm very busy, again, with my bees and all that. But if something comes up, I'm grabbing it. If I come across something on the internet to sign up for or to do or go, expect me to sign up for it.
Listen, let's do Amazing Race. Let's go. Survivor.
Oh, I would do well with Survivor, because I am mostly perceived as being under the radar.
Yeah.
Until later, and that's important, And I thought that was my strength with Squid Game, the challenge, being under the radar until I was no longer under the radar.
Yeah. Until you realized you were one of the strongest people in the game. Yeah.
I guess everybody was realizing it wasn't size, youth, and strength that could win this. Other things, and then I had those other things also. And so that's also made me more vulnerable. It was the best experience, the best.
Yeah, I agree. It was a once in a lifetime experience. Watching it on TV is one thing, but being there and being in these elements, I remember waking up one day and just being like, I'm in a bed in London on a show of Squid Game, just mind blowing. And then we would have never met. You know what I mean?
Best. I love the bunk beds. I hate bunk beds. I hate porridge. I always said, hunger is the best seasoning.
Apparently.
I was always saying that. We'd get our stupid dinners or whatever those boiled chicken. Hunger is the best seasoning.
Yeah, it makes everything taste so good. Well, Dr. Rick, man, thank you so much for coming on the show. Will you come back sometime?
You call me anytime. You're the best.
All right, man. All right. Well, guys, this is Justin Time for Story Time. We're having good conversations. Check out some of the other episodes with some of our amazing friends, other contestants, more of the Gganbu Gang out there. But listen, you guys are just in time for Story Time. See you next episode.
Bye. Thank you, Justin.